was your mum like, and how did losing her impact you? And how was it to mother without a mother? Wow. It's so funny. I wrote these questions and they're still like I'm hearing them for the first time. But what was she like? Well, I've already touched on what she was like. She was a fierce woman, and I don't mean fierce in a unapproachable way. She was loved by everyone. She was respected by everyone. She was a force to be reckoned with. Gosh, she was incredible. She sewed our clothes and she slaughtered animals, and she was a friend to everyone. And honestly, she was just incredible. Probably a little intimidating, honestly. And maybe that's where some of the dramas between me and her came from, is that I was trying to figure out how to be me under the shadow of her. She was just incredible. And I think after she passed away, maybe for a couple of reasons, one being trying to be closer to her, maybe because I was lost and didn't know who I was, I thought that maybe embodying parts of her and being like her was the answer. I need to find out that it wasn't. But she was an incredible woman. She was so strong and tough. She was an absolute boss bitch. So I think she definitely influenced me in the struggles that I've been through, and just bossing through them. Just get through them, just pick it up and punch it in the balls. Let's go. Like, ain't no time to muck around. Ain't no time for pussies here. We're tough bitch ass women and we're going to get it done. That's how she was. And that's how she was to me anyway. That's how I saw her. That's what I witnessed growing up. How was it to mother without a mother? Hard. Won't lie. It was hard. It was hard because there were many times, and there's still moments where I would love to pick up the phone and talk to her and ask her, hey, what do you think about this situation? What would you have done in this situation? And, people go, well, are you able to think of what she might say? And truth be known, I think because I was so young when she passed away, no, I can't. I can't think. And that makes it harder, actually. It actually makes it harder to try and think of what she would say, because then I start dealing with this like guilt and stress of not being able to remember, right? And that's a whole nother thing. So I'm just going to say that parenting without a mother was hard. Harder than I could have imagined, harder than I would have wanted to have found out, but it was hard. Question number 3. How do you parent while grieving the loss of your own mother? Woof! How do you parent while grieving the loss of your own mother? How do you grieve, or how do you parent while grieving the loss of your own mother? Messily. Messily would be the honest answer. Very messily. Parenting's messy anyway, right? But then when you're grieving amongst it, you have to give yourself a lot of grace. You have to give yourself a lot of grace. You have to be okay with it. I think one of the best things I did is that even when Taylor was younger, because she was only 2.5 when Mum died, and she didn't understand. But I'd just say to her, Mummy's sad because Nunu's not here anymore and Mummy misses her. And she'd give me a cuddle. And she's like, it's okay, Mummy, I'm here. And that was awesome. That was a great reminder, because it's like, yes, you are here. You and me. And quite often those moments then snapped me out of grieving. It didn't stop me grieving. I didn't stop the grieving process, right? I still felt the sadness and stuff, but I turned it to moments of joy for me and my daughter. And I just was very present as much as I could be on the fact that she was bringing me joy. She was my rock. She really was. I don't know what my life would have been without her. I really don't. All right. Question number 4. Did you feel isolated, and how did you find support when you didn't have hers? Yeah, I did. At times I felt very isolated. Actually, a lot of the time I felt very isolated for different reasons, not just because I lost her. Pardon me. Some of the reasons were because I was a young mum and I was heavily judged and all the rest of it. And also people didn't really understand my parenting style, which is touched on in episode 1. Which is quite funny because Taylor says that, she reckons I was actually ahead of my time because I had started not started, but I did the gentle parenting thing with her back then, and I copped a lot. People just didn't understand it. They just didn't get it. And the funny thing is that I'm not sure Mum necessarily would have either, but again, I don't know. How can I say? Because she's not here. And this is where that it being hard comes in, because it's like, well, I don't know. I don't know how she would have reacted and responded, or how that would have gone, because she's not here for me to talk to about it, you know? So, did I feel isolated, and how did I find support when I didn't have hers? Luckily, I had some good friends around me, and they were learning too, and they didn't know. Um, but they were a great support. And actually, my dad was a massive support too. And I think having Taylor was a huge rock for him too, because we spent a lot of time over at his place, and they played a lot together, and we played a lot together, and I'd cook meals, and we'd have meals together, and all the rest of it. And Dad did his best. He really did. I'd talk to him about things and stuff, and he'd do his best. I don't know if I can say exactly where I found support or how I got through it. I just know that I had support around me in one way or another, at the time, and I was very grateful for that. Very grateful for that.